Sagittarius Ascendant, Sagittarius Rising. This is G, and this is your July 2020 All Astrology. We're going to go over the eclipse for you. The eclipse happens on July 4th, July 5th. I've got another video out if you haven't seen it. After this is over, go watch it. I will pin it down below. I'll have it there for you waiting. It will give you more understanding on a giant cosmic level of what this is all about. But realizing where it happens for you personally in your life is what this video is about. If you're new here and if you don't have your numbers, if you don't have your digits, go find them. Go get them, because you need to know your rising sign. Your rising sign is not your birthday. Your rising sign includes your birthday, but I need your birth time, your birth location as well. So once you have that, comment those digits. And for free, I can get your rising sign to you. That way you are watching a video that is especially pinpointed for you, meaning the dates that things happen, the cycles that things happen will line up, and you will then be able to navigate the waters of your life. Sagittarius, where's the Capricorn eclipse occurring? Okay, it happens at 1338 in the sign of Capricorn. Now, 1338 is typically Capricorn energy in your second house. This is your money. This is your house of income. All right, so for many, this, what do you do for an income, right? I mean, you could be doing anything for income. You could be doing multiple things for income because now, especially now, right, a lot of folks have picked up other jobs, right? I take Uber, and so many Uber drivers left because there was just like this big decline, and they were like, we're not making any money. And so they picked up other jobs, and now they've recently come back. And so now they're doing Uber, and they're still doing the side thing. Like everybody's doing 2 or 3 different things, it seems like. So understanding there may be something that you are doing for work, because Capricorn energy is my work. It is my ambitions. It's how I want to show up in the world, how I want to express my best in the world, what I want to be known for. And so Capricorn energy is that goat. So wherever Capricorn is, it's like you want to be at the top notch, right? You want to be recognized. You want to be acknowledged. You want to be understood for somebody who was a hard worker but gets paid for it, right? Someone who is valued, who is cherished, and who receives because of it tangibly. Like, this is Capricorn energy, my tangible material assets who give me security. Second house being the house of incoming. The eclipse energy, this eclipse is about a release. Now, are you releasing a job? Are you letting go of one of those jobs? Are you deciding that since you've had different jobs, you realize having this experiment kind of, so to speak, going on where you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do that. You're like, wow, I actually kind of think I like this better. And so maybe there was something you were doing that you had your mind set on, and all of a sudden you're realizing, I don't know if I still want to stick with that. This full moon lunar eclipse, okay, July 4th, July 5th, depending upon where you live. I'm in the Central Standard Time Zone, and so for me, it's on the 4th. You want to find out when this occurs. You want to pay attention. That's the greatest thing you can do, is always try to be the watcher, always try to be the witness. Observe what's going on around you. This is tangible stuff, all right, because it's Capricorn. And Capricorn energy is all about boss energy. It's all about people who are my bosses. It's all about I am the boss. It's all about authority figures. Am I the authority figure? Am I getting paid to be the authority figure? Am I being paid to be in charge? Do I want to be in charge still, right? Like, there's all this going on. Well, the full moon there, this full moon eclipse there, shines this big light on this. And this big light gives you more information. It allows you to see something you weren't seeing before. So maybe you are done with something. Maybe it's something in the back of your mind you've been thinking about releasing, thinking about moving on from. About number 2, we're going to talk about Mars for you. Mars in your 5th house. Okay, so 5th house is fun, is romance, it's dating, relating, mating, right? That's that 5th house energy. And when you have Aryan energy there, you like things to be fiery, you like to initiate, you like things to have a feeling of newness about them. Mars as an activator. Mars adds fuel to this area of your life. So what you can expect is this impulsiveness, is this let's just take action with our body. Remember, Mars is the body. Let's do. Let's have fun with our body. Also involves children, because that is this house placement. It is also having children. So there might be thoughts about that. Like if you thought you were done with those thoughts, you might be all of a sudden, there might be someone you meet and there might be a thinking of, oh my Lord, I would kind of like to have a child with that person. Mars is masculine energy. And masculine energy, I don't want to say the shit starter, but really likes to be the leader of something. So Mars says, but this is a good idea. Let's do this. Let's do this. We can do this. Mars has a lack of thinking. And so when you realize that in this fifth house, in this area of your life, in matters of children, in matters of things you've created, there might be some impulsivity. There might be this big ego thing, actually, because Mars is all about our ego. Okay, so you might attach something you've created. You might get an over-attachment to that thing with Mars there. You might become so attached to it to the degree where you might want to fight about something. This would be a big deal. So this would be for people who have kids, creations of their own. If somebody says something to them about their children, you'd be ready to box. You'd be like pulling out the knives, right? Because that's what Mars is. Mars is a fighter. Mars was born for war. So Mars having the lack of diplomacy, the lack of thinking, the lack of, I want to just talk through it first. I want to relate. I want to understand your thoughts on this. I want to not just be about me. I want to be about we. That's what Mars doesn't know how to do. Mars isn't about we. Mars is all about, but this is what I want. So when you realize it's in the area of things you've created, when it's in the area of the way you relate and communicate and date, when you realize it's in the area of how you have fun with your body, when you realize it's how you express when you're having fun, how you express creatively, when you realize that Mars, the infant of the zodiac. So that fifth house and how I express when I'm having fun, how I express when I'm having a good time. It's an exploration. It's an experimentation, because Mars being there always wants to be the leader, always wants to head off having a good time. Okay, I create the party because I've arrived. I'm bringing this. I am the party. I'm here, right? Mars wants to initiate and wants to do all these things, okay? So understanding, though, that what we have going on for the next 6 months, because this is where Mars will be for the next 6 months, in that placement for you, starting new creative projects will likely occur. But realizing that we have a big square, so there's going to be tension and friction and testing that occurs, and this is all going to come, this is going to be part of that second house, that work stuff, that's going to square it. Right? So even though Mars, even though you're, I want to go out and I want to do this and I got to do this, there's going to be your second house. I got to make money though. I got to make money. I got to do this. It's going to be squaring it, or vice versa. I have to go and make money, and then maybe somebody who's in your fifth house, like someone you're dating or your children, are somehow, they're just testing your ability to make money, right? They're testing your job. Like if you have to work at home, it's just, I want to scream. I can't be doing both at one time, right? So this will be for the next 6 months. Now, understand also the other test and tension, the other who, like number 4, is the opposite of this income. It's family, it's home, it's mother, it's nurturing. All that energy, that's all in your 8th house. So this puts people who you're really deeply bonded with, people that you've bonded with deeply in ways where you've decided you make them part of your family. People that you meet, that you relate with, friends, you make them part of your family, because there's this bonding, there's an emotional bonding, there's what it really is, past life bonds. It's bonding. You have heritage together. You have family history together. So you could meet somebody and you realize they have the same ethnicity as you. Oh, my parents were from Jersey, or my family came from Italy, or yeah, they were from Palermo, right? There's these cultural links that you have, and so you pair up with that, and you immediately bond with people like that, and you can bond deeply with them. However, there's a square, there's a tension, there's a stress that's going to occur. And because Mars is in the fiery Aries stuff, it can then boil those Cancer waters, your 8th house waters. So those relationships where you're deeply bonded, you could feel waters getting hot, testing and stress and tension. Now, this doesn't have to be across the border. It has everything to do with whether you have planets in those houses, whether you have planets in Cancer energy, whether you have planets in Capricorn energy. That's a big part of this. If you have planets, That means that it intensifies the experiences. It intensifies the energy because it's compounded energy. You get it? It's like, okay, I've got this here, and I've got this here, and I've got this here. And it's all being squared, right? 90 degrees away. So it adds to the experience. It makes it more complex. And when things are more complex, we have to tread slower. We have to go slower so that we are clear, thinking clearly. But folks, the big picture about all of this, because of all the testing, because Mars wants to do. Mars wants to get out and have a good time. And well, it's summer. Well, at least where I am. And so there may be like, okay, you can't do this because there's rules, right? Second house, Capricorn energy, there's rules. Capricorn energy is also the bosses. That could be people in government. There's rules, right? There's the law, there's rules. And then we look over at Mars and it's like, but I want to do. And it's like, no, but you can't. Not right now. It's just not going to happen. Understanding you may not be able to do what you want to do. And knowing this ahead of time, it's a cycle that we're all in. And so if you want to win this, it's all about your longevity. How long can you be patient? Now, it doesn't mean to just back down 100% and give up on what makes you emotionally satisfied. There's lots of ways to connect with people, and that goes to my fifth, which is your Gemini energy. This is where it's at. This is in your seventh house, so this I'm loving for you. Even though you may feel some stress and tension in the other areas, your Gemini energy is where your North Node is, and this is your next 18 months. This is where you'll be spending it. This is where you'll have success. And so yes, it has a lot to do with the internet and neighbors and being and staying within your community. It's people that I'm working with, people who I'm socializing with, but more about selling, communicating, relating, right? This is a really great placement right now because of the social media. Emphasize there in your seventh house. You can connect with people on social media and they feel you. They understand you. It's like you partner up with them. This is a great placement for business partnerships too. But it's all going to be about my ability to express, my ability to relate, to communicate, my ability to be flexible is so key. So for Sag Ascendant, Sag Rising, I want you to hone in on this energy. I want you to take off with it because this trines your 11th house energy. It's air trining air. And air trining air means your 11th house is the internet, right? It is the internet. I love that it's also astrology, but it's also how to be unique, how to be the individual within the group, how to stand out in the group. You have the ability to do this. You have the ability to shine here. So take advantage of it. This is the next 18 months. You're going to be learning some new skills. Remember to be flexible. Remember, folks, the big message is to be members of the CCC. And how do we do that? We acknowledge and recognize that we can be friends, we can be family. We bring in everybody to be part of the cosmic community, to be citizens of the cosmic community, the CCC.